mean by putting them in stressful positions in practice?
I think that you have to, if you want people to be successful at bunt coverages, or you want them to be successful at first third defense and tandem cutting and different aspects of the game, you can't just teach something and say, this is the way we're going to do it, go do it. You have to continue to do it. You have to continue to put pressure on kids at the practice level. If you don't practice at full speed, and one of the things I've said to them, if I know that you run a 3-9 from home to first, that means you run a 3-9 from home to first every single time you run home to first, or you don't do it at all. Everything you do should be at a high level at all times, and if it's not, then you're either shortchanging the people around you, or you're shortchanging yourself. So we just want to always try to, whatever we're doing at practice, it's fast, it's full speed, and it's with the goal of getting better.
Opening day was tomorrow. Would you be confident in your team's ability to win the game?
If opening day was tomorrow, I would be extremely confident in our ability to win the game. I think we're close to where we need to be offensively. We're hitting the ball very well. We need to clean things up on the base paths. Defensively, we've been solid in the field, which has been one of our focuses. I think last year's team was a good team. There was a lot of good players on the field at every position. They didn't take a whole lot of pride in their defense. They made a lot of errors and walked a lot of guys, which is basically the opposite of what the goal has to be, limiting the amount of base runners you give up and taking advantage of what the other team does. And that's kind of what a situation they fell into last year. So I think we've done a little bit of a better job to take pride in our defense, and we're hitting the ball well. So I would feel good if the season started tomorrow. I'm happy that I have another week and a half left.
Without playing Ocean City this year, is there a specific team you'd like to beat more than any other?
To speak to that Ocean City question first, we did schedule them 3 times. They've canceled the game 3 times. So go on record that they're ducking us. To follow up to that, obviously all of the division games are important. We play 4 teams twice, and they're the teams that put you in position to win the conference. The 4 teams we need to beat are Atlantic City, Holy Spirit, Atlantic City, Holy Spirit, Oak Crest, and Vineland. Holy Spirit becomes the natural rival because they're the closest one. They're our opener too, and I think that it's one of those things where if you can go 1-0, and you go into Oak Crest to Cedar Creek to lower, all of a sudden getting into spring break, you could be sitting at a really nice record. So I'm just really looking one game at a time, and Holy Spirit happens to be the first one, and I think that'll be the rival, and that's a team that our guys have been successful against in the past, wearing different uniforms than the mainland uniforms, so there's no reason when they wear a mainland uniform they should be successful against them.
If you had to make one change, whether it be in the lineup, coaching, schedule, or whatever, and you would win the championship, what do you think that change would have to be?
If I had to make one change to, based on what?
Just like anything, really. Like to your team in general.
If I had to make one change to my team in general, and then we would win the championship, the one change I guess I would make is add a starting pitcher, add one extra guy. I think that high school baseball always has the teams that are most successful have the advantage of every Monday that they go out, or every Tuesday, depending on what their first game of the week is, they hang their hat on, this guy's pitching today, and we're going to win today. And I think that until our Tepedinos and our Bells and our Mooses, the guys who I've said are starting pitchers, until they get a couple wins under their belt and feel confident, we're going to have to go out and prove it those first couple games of the week. So obviously I think that everybody would love to have an extra arm. I think that one extra pitching arm would get us over the hump right now because we're a little thin there. We have a ton of pitchers and a ton of guys that can eat up innings. We just don't have guys that are too many guys that are dedicated to just pitching. They're multi-position players, so you're gonna kind of have to save their arm depending on how many balls they threw across the infield today, how many balls they threw from the outfield. So if we had that extra arm of a guy that just pitched, that would be fantastic.
Can Pat and I announce a baseball game?
Can Pat and I announce it as a public address?
No, it's like the game, like announced batter or something.
Like now batting?
Yeah.
No.
Do you think redoing the field will help for a better playing facility?
I think that it can only help. I think that the field is at absolute rock bottom, and I think that if you went out and cut the grass, that would have even been better than what we were playing on. I think that a home court and where you play on is a sense of pride. I think that the football team's always taken advantage of having a nice home atmosphere in their stadium. I think that the new basketball court really helped the girls team and the boys team. It just makes you feel good to come into a bright lights and a new gym that